2.2 seconds of pure stoke and fear. It's the eye candy everybody wants to see. But it's only a fraction of the story. What you don't see, the everything else that gets us to this moment in time, is the true reason we choose to make these rivers our life. There's a story behind every drop.
Even though it may seem like positive psychology and extreme sports wouldn't have anything in common, I have found, both through my research and my personal experiences, that they do. In this video, I will be explaining those connections in three major categories: risk, motivation, and community. Positive psychology in its most basic form is focusing on people's strengths to help them with their problems rather than the traditional method of trying to fix their weaknesses. Various professionals in the field, such as Dr. Martin Seligman, believe that people can live three kinds of lives. The first one, the pleasant life, involves surrounding yourself with as many pleasures as possible, even if they aren't necessarily very real and fade away quickly. Usually the pleasant life is associated with movie stars or people who surround themselves with shallow friends and replace them often. The next life is the good life. This is your typical happy and satisfied individual's life. They have found their strengths and crafted their entire life around them. These people are the ones who are going to experience flow in their everyday life and in the job that they do, because by focusing on their strengths, they have put themselves in an environment that creates flow. The third life is more based on finding your strengths and using those to help other people, and is commonly found in people who have chosen a religious career. Now, you may be asking yourself, what does any of this have to do with extreme sports? Well, in my opinion, professional extreme sports athletes, unlike other professional athletes, fall more into the good life category than the pleasant life. They have found a sport, however obscure it may be, and have practiced it to the point where they can achieve flow while doing it. What is flow? Flow is when an individual is able to gain complete concentration while completing a task. Everything in the outside world goes away and leaves them focused and feeling happy. It isn't always enjoyable though. Sometimes an athlete has to put themselves through pain in the moment while achieving flow, and then they'll feel satisfied afterwards. These are the words of Dr. Mihaly in a quote from his book about flow. Apparently, the way the long-distance swimmer felt when crossing the English Channel was almost identical to the way a chess player felt during a tournament or a climber progressing up a difficult rock face. In my experience, paddling white water can be the exact same way. When I'm going down a rapid, I'm not necessarily having fun in the moment. I'm stressed out and extremely focused on what's at hand. But then afterwards, I feel ecstatic that I just ran an awesome piece of whitewater.
Running big waterfalls for me is my favorite part about kayaking. It's not only a physical challenge, it's also very mental. From waking up in the morning to actually going off the waterfall, you kind of have to mentally prepare yourself all day. Stretching and feeling out your body, to just being calm and relaxed enough to accept the fact that you're going to drop off an 80-foot waterfall. Well, my biggest fears in running these big waterfalls is, the obvious things. Breaking my back, taking big hits, breaking my nose, dislocating my shoulder. Getting hurt in my mind is the worst possible result, and I have to tell myself that if I do get hurt, I'm not going to be kayaking, and kayaking is my life.
One of the most interesting connections that I came across between the two was around the idea of self-regulation and risk. There are two categories of self-regulation in positive psychology. The first being the cold or the no system, which is based around using critical thinking to assess a situation completely. And the other is the hot or the go system, which is when a person uses their impulses and emotions to make themselves off a waterfall. They need to use both kinds of thinking to make sure that it's as safe as it can be.
As you study your safety and know that that is number one no matter what, then I really believe that learning this sport and getting good at the sport, you are not really risking your life to the point that a professional does. Now, once you get a taste of that, obviously, you want to go start doing something more difficult and steeper, or whatever you want to do. Colder water makes it more difficult, all that stuff. And you start to have some risk, but if you always back it up by the safety, I never felt like I was risking my life to a point that I wasn't going to come home. Obviously, there are kayakers who do that kind of thing, and I don't have aspirations to go that far with it, but I have aspirations to go as far as the systems of safety that I have in place. I'll continue to push it until I get to a place where I'm like, well, I don't have either the people around me that are willing to go this far, and at that point I have to stick where I am, or as long as everybody else is in the same mindset and everybody's learning and practicing their safety techniques and everything, you're gonna have a great day every day. So,
as you can see, this was a highly organized event with lots of safety in place, and even with that, accidents can happen. Now, though this boater came out of this incident unscathed, it goes to show that even in the perfect situation, you always have to account for the unexpected. Stress also plays an important role in extreme sports, because when someone undergoes lots of stress, such as when they run a waterfall, that can be channeled into improvement and that person learning from the situation. All in all, an extreme sports athlete needs to have all of these mental skills as well as their physical skills in order to combat the risk of the sport.
So much, it's kind of like when you have someone coming to your house, and it's kind of that feeling, having someone and having the chance to show them a good time. For me, it's just like that, but in my country, it's an amazing scenario for kayaking. We have culture, we have ruins, we have amazing nature, and it's really cool, really fortunate to be able to show people my own paradise and make it their paradise.
One of the neatest things is just getting to check out different cultures and be immersed in them. Right now we're here at the Mayan ruins, one of the most ancient civilizations on Earth, and just hanging out at these temples, which are quite close to the river. And for a lot of us as action sports athletes, we sort of share a similar type of spirituality, whether that's religious or whether that's just this feeling that you're connected to nature, not particularly religious, but for us the river is our church. That's our favorite zone to be in, and that's the environment that we can really escape the kind of reality of the world and get back to what matters most to us.
For me, it's more when I'm standing on the side and looking at it. That's the point I'm nervous, trying to figure out how I want to run it. Rafa knows this river here, and he definitely helped me out to tell me where I put my stroke. And as soon as I'm calling to run it, I don't know, somehow I'm not that nervous anymore. I'm just like, I made a call and I'm just gonna do it.
Getting to the lip, trying to go slow, you really need to go slow, not too fast. You see all the beautiful landscape. Put your stroke on the lip. That moment is the best, when you are on the lip and you're just looking down and wow!
You just heard the reason why 4 of the world's best kayakers keep paddling, which is the same types of things you would hear from amateur paddlers like myself. We're drawn to the river by a love for nature and a need of the bond between people that whitewater brings, as well as the adrenaline rush that comes along with it. When I spoke to psychologist Joan Chalman, she mentioned the fact that it's crucial for people to have goals in life, specifically goals that they can achieve. And I think that this is very prevalent in whitewater paddling because you have to create goals in order to improve your skill and become a better kayaker. With that, those same goals might motivate you in other parts of life. Whether an extreme sport motivates you to start exercising or just eating healthier, it's sure to improve your life.
So I just want to talk a little bit about what I've gained from the sport. There is an incredible aspect of self-sufficiency that I feel battling with Mother Nature, traveling down 16 miles of whitewater, traveling down 50 miles of whitewater with your food in your boat, and if you flip, you got soggy bread for the rest of the week. you just feel an accomplishment that you and Mother Nature are actually, it's actually kind of a false positive that you and Mother Nature are working together after you spend a few hours or a few days on the river, and that you start to think, hey, we're in this together and we're going to get through it, and it's really exciting. When it comes down to it, every rapid around every turn is trying to flip you over no matter what. It doesn't care about you. So it's created by yourself, and it's really fulfilling to realize that you yourself have conquered this situation. It's a puzzle. That's all it really is. And as long as you safely connect all the dots, you're going to make it from put in to take out no matter what.
Blocks of
It also is a amazing sense of community. The people you put on the river with are 100% different people that you take off. When you, at the end of the day, you are blood. You are brothers and sisters together. You have gone through so much throughout the day, the week, however long you're out there, and the community, it just grows. And it's so strong. The people on the river are all friendly pretty much no matter what, except for the tubers. Gotta look out for the tubers, man. Those guys are not the ones to hang out with. But put on a helmet. But all the kayakers, for the most part, are really psyched that you're out there, and you really gain a lot of personal confidence as well as group confidence. There's some really special stuff that transforms throughout a day of kayaking.
community is very important in white paddling. Both friendships that you create and the willingness of strangers to help others. The kinds of relationships that are formed by situations like these, and even less extreme ones, can be very beneficial to both your mental and physical health. It's been proven that strong relationships can improve these things in the majority of people. Personally, I have experienced these types of relationships and agree with the positive aspects of them. One of the things that impresses me the most about the whitewater community is the fact that almost anybody out on the river is willing to risk their lives for a complete stranger, even if that person has very little chance of survival. The best example of the whitewater community from the past year was the result of a tragic incident on the Great Falls section of the Potomac River. Last June, Shannon Christie, who you can see here, drowned after a bad run through the rapid. In this photo of the Great Falls section, you can see the deadliest waterfall, Subway, directly in the middle. While paddling a solo run, Shannon somehow got swept into Subway while out of her boat, getting pinned underwater at the bottom of the fall. When bystanders realized she was missing, they reported it to park authorities, who began an official rescue operation. Steve Fisher, a pro kayaker who had accompanied Shannon on the trip, mounted a rescue operation of his own as soon as he found out that she had gone missing. Ignoring the officials' orders to stay away, upwards of 15 kayakers from the area responded to the call, risking their lives to recover her body. I think it says a lot that all of those people would put themselves in grave danger out of respect for a fellow paddler. In conclusion, I think that positive psychology does connect to extreme sports, especially around the areas of self-regulation, personal improvement, and strong relationships.